What's happening, y'all? Showman Flex back at it again with another episode of the Flex Files. Let's talk, man. Look, you will never know a woman's past. You will never truly know a woman's past, right? You just won't, man. I try to talk about this all the time. I've talked about this a lot. Before we get into it, make sure to click that subscribe button below. That way you know when I post new content for y'all on a daily, like I promised y'all I would. I love talking to y'all, right? Shout out to all the new subscribers, the old subscribers. Thank y'all so much for joining this channel. It means a lot to your boy. And we're going to keep rising on here. We're going to keep rising, thriving, being successful. Learning this thing called life as we on this journey together, on this path together to greatness. Let's get into it, man. You will never truly know a woman's past. I don't care how much you try to know it and you try to control it. You just can't. And I be trying to tell a lot of dudes this, man. A lot of dudes be telling me to shut the fuck up, this and that. They don't like when I say it. They think I'm pandering to women. But I'm just simply stating the fact. You never really truly know. You never can, and you never, nor will you ever truly know a woman's past. Okay, I don't care what anybody say. Right? A woman will lie. A woman will lie and say all day long. I don't know what these people doing, man. Like they see motherfuckers coming and driving up. Why are you trying to reverse out the park? Just wait. Be patient. Anyways, you will never truly know a woman's past, man. Okay. And men that try to control it, like, the nature of a man, a lot of times is to try to control in a sense. We may not realize that's what we're doing, but that's just in our nature to try to do, right? To kind of like have an idea of what you want out of life, the partner that you want, the woman that you want. You don't want her to be a hoe. You don't want her to be this and that, or have had a lot of bodies, or have had a lot of experience with men. And so the idea to try to control that narrative of that woman oftentimes is what a lot of men try to do, right? That's why a lot of men will say, she got to have only this amount of bodies, or damn near a virgin. A lot of dudes, they want that woman to be a virgin, this and that, right? Listen, here's the thing about that, man. The only, you don't know a woman's past because she can lie about her past, right? She can't lie about being a virgin. You gonna find out if she's a virgin or not. We all know that shit. But as far as, her body count, you will never really know. And I've said this before as the main reason why it's like kind of pointless to try to control their body count or not control it, but make it a big deal, right? Like a lot of men will make it a big deal, but it's kind of pointless because you just never really gonna truly know how many bodies she's had. A woman will lie to get with the man that she want. If the man is of high value, she gonna lie and act like she ain't had a lot of bodies. There's a lot of women that do that. A lot of women, that's the whole point of why women say, they say, what's that old adage phrase? Women lie and subtract their body count, while men multiply it. They add. They add their body count because, it's like looked at as in society as a bad stigma if a woman has been with a lot of men, but it's not looked at in the same way in a bad stigma if men have had a lot of bodies. It's praised, it's admired, right? Even though you got some women that don't want to be with a man that's giving community dick out to everybody, you know what I'm saying? There's the women out there that's like that, right? But so my main point is this, is that, because of the old adage and saying of women subtract their body count, you just got to assume that that's what they're going to be doing. So you ask a woman, like, how many people you been with? How many men have you been with? And she say, I only been with 2. she could be lying and she been with 12, 20. You never know, because a lot of dudes, because sometimes it's a psychological thing, and a lot of dudes ain't really that hipped, not hip. They're not that inept and hip to understanding a woman psychology to see if she really been with a lot of dudes like that, right? They ain't really hip to that. They say they are, but they're not. So it's like you wasting time caring about a woman's body count in that way, when they can just lie about this shit. You're just never gonna really know fully and truthfully how many partners she has had. Okay. The most important thing is her sexual health, and I've said that many times. That's important. Going to get tested, going to get tested, making sure y'all both clean. That's more important than, because that also goes into her sexual past, obviously, right? But the amount of bodies, man, bodies are just bodies, man. It's about the quality over quantity. And of course, they talk about the pair bonding and all of that. I understand that. I'm not disagreeing with that, right? However, it's more that men oftentimes don't want to compete. If we really get to the seriousness of it, the truth of it, the pair bonding thing is just the surface level worry and stress of it all. The real shit of it is that a lot of men don't want to have to think about if they measure up to a lot of to the men in her past, or a lot of men in her past, her ex. That's why you have some men that will ask, and they do it, because I've dated women and they've or like I've dated women and my ex telling me, yeah, I'm dating this dude now, but he's so jealous of you, he hates you, or whatever. He asked me about you. Like I'm like, damn, do the motherfucker like me or something? Like, ask me about my thing size. Like, the fuck? But some men do that. Some men are so insecure about that. And if a lot of men admit this to themselves, that they are very insecure of other men, that is why they're, insecure about a woman's body count. That's a big reason why. And when women say that shit, a lot of men don't want to agree with it. But it's the truth. It's the fucking truth, y'all. This happens a lot, very often. And it shouldn't be like that. Because it's about quality over quantity. But, listen, a lot of men compare themselves with other men. They just do. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that men don't want to really admit. Like, other men don't want to necessarily admit this shit. But it is very true that other men oftentimes compare themselves, they members, to other men's members. This is why, porn, and, a lot of it come from, porn addiction, watching adult films and stuff like that, and this and that. You constantly comparing yourself. Think about it. That's a lot of dudes did when they were in high school, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of dudes still do it. They still do it, man. Like, especially, don't let it be a white woman. I mean, you dated a white woman, and you a black man, and you dated a white woman, and now that white woman going to start dating other white men. That white man, that's why a lot of white men, they choose not to date or marry a white woman that's been with a black man. because they don't think that they can, like, compare, because of the old myth, that black men packing. So especially if it's an interracial thing, that white man want to know, look, how many, they really got an issue with it, the most out of every race, I feel like, They really got an issue with it. They like, look, how many men have you been with and have they been black? Okay, let's start there. Man, look, I done been, listen, I'm telling you right the fuck now. I done been with a couple white girls, and one of them was a white girl that I'm talking about, where she said her man, you know, the man that she ended up dating him, you know what I'm saying? And he was a white dude. But, you know, I dated her and I'm a black dude. And it was kind of awkward and weird. She said that she was like, nah, he not racist though. You know, I'm like, yeah, whatever. He racist a little bit. He kind of got some racism with it. But, you know, a lot of it is envy and a lot of it is hate. You know, a lot of it is envy and a lot of it is hate. You feel me? So, you know, there's that type of thing with that. But it's the comparison, man. A lot of men don't want to compare themselves to other men. You know, so it's like, man, it's better for this woman to just be a virgin. But you can't control this whole point of this video, you cannot control a woman's past. I don't care. You ain't gonna never really know it. Women will hide things and take it to their grave. I'm telling you. Just look at the show Sex Life, man. Smex Life on Netflix. This woman was married to this dude for about 10 years, had 2 beautiful kids, lived in a big, beautiful house, and she ain't tell that man nothing about her ex, Brad. Brad imprinted her. She tried to start a whole new life with somebody else that was better for her. You know what I'm saying? And tried to hide her past, and her past came back to haunt her. Because she was writing journals about fantasizing about her ex. But had she never wrote that journal down, that dude would have her new husband would have never known about, you know, her past life and her past sex life. Would have never knew. That was the only factor of why he found out. But most men never find out. Like, so you just never gonna know, man. Like, you cannot try to stress and control that. So look, hope this video helps somebody. If you like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Probably gonna be a lot of people that aren't gonna like this video, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. You know, I don't sugarcoat shit with y'all. I tell the truth. Tell it like it is, right? Make sure to click that subscribe button so that way you know when I post new daily content for y'all. All right, listen, till next time, it's your man Flex with another episode of the Flex Files. I'm out. Peace.